DOJ. Joining me now is Congressman Matt Gaetz, member of the House Judiciary Committee. All right, Congressman, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Good to be with you.
Oh, good. Now, we've been hearing for months about Fusion GPS, the DNC, Hillary Clinton, we find out, actually paid for, this document that was created. And then we started hearing that this document, which was false and a fraud, was the basis of a FISA warrant. There is talk or reports that there is now a report that will show us and shock us about the abuses. Can you tell us about that report?
There are 4 pages of a memorandum prepared by the Intelligence Committee that will shock the conscience of this country when it comes to the horrific abuses that occurred during the last administration and that I believe continue to pose a threat to Donald Trump's presidency. It is so important, Judge Jeanine, that we are fighting to get this memo released to all of the American people. I don't think the right answer is just to allow members of Congress to be horrified and outraged. All Americans need to see what was happening to undermine this president duly elected.
How do we release this information? When do I get to see it?
Well, at any moment in time, the intelligence chairman, who has done an excellent job, Devin Nunes, can schedule a vote in the Intelligence Committee. If the Intelligence Committee votes to declassify this information, and if President Trump doesn't overrule that, it will immediately become available to the American people, and that is necessary.
Who wrote it?
This is a composite memo drafted by the staff of the Intelligence Committee, and it highlights various conclusions that will truly shock the consciousness.
But what do you mean it highlights whose conclusions?
Well, names are named. The names that we've talked about in the news associated with the corruption that is posed to President.
McCabe, and Strzok, and who else?
Well, I can't go into the specific names until we share that information, but I can say this. Names are named, and you also get to see the interaction between the various people that we've been discussing and the organizations and entities that had a stake in the outcome in the 2016 election. And so going from a point in time where we have just a series of data points and characters to actually assembling that into a fact pattern, it tells a lot to the American people about what was really going on in our government.
When is Devin Nunes going to schedule this for a vote?
Well, he said he wanted to hear from more members of Congress. 64 of us have already sent him a letter.
On the phone. You could do that in an hour.
I spoke to him today on the floor. The good news is that Chairman Nunes, Bob Goodlatte, Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and Trey Gowdy are working together on the timing of this. But I think this is so important, so shocking, it should be public immediately, and we're pressing the timetable.
Tell me what we're going to be shocked about.
I think we'll be shocked not only at the way information was collected, but the way that that information was authenticated. And I can't go into any details, but only to say that you're aware as a judge of the way evidence has to be authenticated and presented to a court to get a warrant. And
it has to be probable cause to sign a warrant.
Of course. And prosecutors and investigators cannot perpetrate frauds on the court by presenting false information or information they know to be false.
All right, so let's assume that we're talking about Bruce Orr, Lisa Orr, McCabe, Strzok, possibly Rosenstein, Jim Comey. I don't want to hear, if any of what you're suggesting is true, that these guys get to dictate when they're going to retire. My viewers want them taken out in cuffs. If they violated the law, they need to be taken out in cuffs. Is that going to happen?
Well, heads are going to roll. I believe.
What does that mean?
Well, I believe crimes were committed. I read this
now
memo.
You got to send it to Jeff Sessions, assuming that he's got a Justice Department that's going to be fair.
Well, we need Jeff Sessions to be the Attorney General, not an employee at the Justice Department. That's been one of the major problems, is that he hasn't exercised sufficient control of that agency. And I think he did a great job as a senator, but as Attorney General.
I don't care. Right now he's AG. It doesn't matter about when he was a senator. Good for him. Congressman Gaetz, I can't wait to read it.
Hopefully soon.
2 weeks?
I'm hoping sooner.
Good. All right.